Well guys, we're finally here, the top 10 games of 2023. Now I know some of you might say, actually Apox Fox, 2023 isn't over yet. Silksong could still come out. And to that I say, Silksong is not coming out. That game is not real. To be fair, there are still games yet to release in December, but none that I'll probably end up playing. I mean, I'm not super hyped for the Avatar game, to be honest. So I figured that since the Game Awards are coming up, I'll do my own little top 10 list now. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know the drill, but for the people who are new here, let me get you up to speed. These aren't all games that came out this year. Most of them are 2023 games, but I also played a ton of games that have been on my backlog for a while, so those will be mixed in as well. Starting with some honorable mentions, let's talk about Starfield. Now, I was very disappointed in this game, and that's not a secret. While it might not be on my top 10 list of this year, I still gotta mention it because I didn't entirely hate Starfield. Could it have been better, or more innovative, or more fun, or have a better story, or more interesting gameplay mechanics, or less outdated RPG features? Yes, to all of the above. However, I still put like 50 hours into it, so I guess that says something. Sea of Stars came out this year, and it's a pretty rad indie game. The biggest reason it's not on my list is because I haven't actually finished it. But from what I've played, Sea of Stars has been really inspiring for my own games and pixel art, and it's such a well-polished experience that I think everyone should check it out if you enjoy classic RPGs. I feel like I gotta mention this, it's not a 2023 game, nor is it my first time playing it, but I played so much Elden Ring this year that, come on, I gotta talk about it. This game is the gift that keeps on giving. Every time I replay Elden Ring, I always find new stuff that I've never seen before. Literally every playthrough, there's a new area I discover just in Stormvale Castle alone. I love this game, and I'm probably gonna play it a lot next year too. And now it's time for the list. These are my favorite games I played this year, and I would easily recommend all of them. Starting at number 10, we have Final Fantasy 16. Here's what I'll say. This game admittedly peaked early. Final Fantasy 16 has probably the best intro of a game I've ever played. Even if you just played the demo for the game, you know what I'm talking about. Most of the characters are all pretty interesting, probably not Final Fantasy 7 levels of interesting, but the voice acting is very good, so that was good enough for me. It's also got some of the most hype boss fights from this year. Even if a lot of it is scripted events and cutscenes breaking it up, the presentation alone is kind of insane. The combat is probably my favorite of any Final Fantasy game, so yeah, it's a pretty good one, and if you like RPGs as much as I do, I'm sure you'll love it. At number 9, Lies of P. This is the Soulsborne game that isn't actually a From Software game, but it's pretty damn convincing. Although I don't think it reaches the same heights that we see in Bloodborne or Dark Souls. If you like those games, you'll probably love Lies of P. Dark Souls Pinocchio is a pretty goofy concept, which I just love, and the new things that this game does introduce, like its unique parrying system and meter abilities, is done really well. It's almost as if Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and Sekiro had a gross puppet baby, and that's the best praise I can give, honestly. Number 8 is our first non-2023 game, Yakuza Kiwami 2. I know, this is pretty out of left field. I've been on a lifelong journey to play every Yakuza game there is, and this year I played a lot of them, all the way from 0 to 5 so far. But out of that list, Kiwami 2 made the biggest impression on me. It's got some really great character development for Kiryu. The main villain, Ryuji, is a total badass. It's got some of my favorite minigames in the entire series, and the story and sub-stories are all fire. I'll be talking more about this whole series very soon, so stay tuned for that. At number 7, Street Fighter 6 came out this year. This is one that I'm honestly shocked made it on this list because I historically suck major balls at fighting games. But Street Fighter 6, man, it is so good. Sure, there is a story mode which I thought was okay at best. I did like making my own character at least, but Street Fighter 6 shines most because of the fact fact that anybody can get into it. If you have never played a fighting game in your life, you can still enjoy Street Fighter 6 because of its accessibility options. There's a new button mapping called Modern Controls, which makes it so you don't have to learn any insane inputs. Just mashing is now a pretty viable option. That might sound like a bad thing to some people, but as a beginner, I love it. So if you've been wanting to get into the fighting game scene but feel too intimidated like I have, give Street Fighter 6 a try. I think you'll probably like it. Number 6, Neon White, a game that actually came out last year, but I feel like this game was made for me to play this year. I don't talk about this too often, but I played a lot of visual novels this year. I know, it's scary to admit, but it's true. Neon White is like if you took a visual novel game and actually made it fun. If you don't know what Neon White is, it's basically a speedrunning platformer, but with guns. Not to brag, I do have all of the red trophies from every course. That might not mean a lot to some of you, but that small population who know what I'm talking about are literally shaking right now. Now I have nothing left to work towards, and I'm depressed. At number 5, we've got Hogwarts Legacy. I knew this game would end up on this list before I even played it. If you know me, I love Harry Potter, and this is the game that cured years of pain and suffering for me. I literally just posted a review of this game, so you can check that out if you want, but all in all, this is that open world Harry Potter game we dreamed of, guys. We did it. Number 4, Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, hold your horses. Some of you might be confused that this isn't higher on the list for how much I won't shut up about it, but I really don't think this is the game of the year for me. Breath of the Wild was groundbreaking, and so was Tears of the Kingdom for different reasons. The fusing and vehicle mechanics are really cool, and they honestly don't get old, but this should just be a testament to how many great games came out this year. I'd honestly say that this is the best year for games we've had since Breath of the Wild came out. So the fact that Zelda is at number 4 really says a lot. At number 3, Danganronpa 2. What the heck, you put this anime bullshit in front of Zelda? Yeah, I did. I haven't even mentioned this game on my channel before, but if you haven't played Danganronpa, you're missing out, man. It's another visual novel. It's like Neon White if it was boring. That actually isn't completely untrue. There isn't a lot of gameplay involved, but man, this story is like right up my alley. High school kids killing each other in a death game and then lying about it, sign me up. It's like if Among Us was an anime. There's really not much else I can say without spoilers, but if you're down to try something new and mix it up a little, try Danganronpa. Trust me, it is cooler than I made it sound. Number 2, Octopath Traveler 2, Electric Boogaloo. I didn't even know this game was a thing until it came out, but Octopath 2 is one hell of a good game. Some of you might remember me calling this my game of the year back in March, and if the next game never came out, it certainly would have been. Now, I didn't love Octopath 1, but Octopath 2 improved on pretty much every aspect of the game I didn't like. All the characters and their stories were standouts on their own, and together with their shared side stories, they're even better. I think this is also some of the most fun I've had with a turn-based combat system. It really makes you feel like you're fully in control of a fight. Although the boss fights do drag on a bit long in my opinion, they're still pretty hype and feel deserved. The pacing has never been perfect in these games when it comes to jumping between characters, but it's a lot better in Octopath 2, and honestly, I cannot wait for the next one. And finally, number 1 on my list. I don't know if this is going to come as a surprise because not many people watched my review for it. I'm looking at you. Baldur's Gate 3. First of all, I'm sure this is already going to be Game of the Year at the Game Awards anyways, but it's really for a good reason. It's not too often a game comes around with a ton of content, great multiplayer support, and player support in general, while also not having any microtransactions or extra paid bullshit. Baldur's Gate 3 is a look at how amazing AAA games could be. There are so many ways to play this game, so many paths to take and choices to make. The combat is nothing short of masterful. I've never played Dungeons & Dragons, but you don't need to fully enjoy this game. I think that whatever Larian Studios does next, we should keep an eye on because they seem like a really genuine company that really loves games. Hopefully other companies will see that too. Okay then, that's my list. Make sure you give me your own top 10 list down below. I'll probably read them all. Subscribe if you haven't already. I've got a few more videos to cap off this year, and yeah, much love guys. Have a good one. Peace.